Hi, welcome to No Water River. I'm Renee, and you know, some of the best stories I've ever heard didn't come out of a book. Instead, they came from my parents, my grandparents, my aunts, my uncles, even my brothers and sister. Today's poet shares a wonderful story about her grandfather, and I hope after you listen to her poem, you'll be inspired to ask your relatives what their stories are. I'm so pleased to present an author, editor, and poet with more than 30 books to her name, and she's a great storyteller too. Please welcome Janet Wong.
Hi, I'm Janet Wong. I'm the author of A Suitcase of Seaweed, and I'm going to share with you a poem of mine called GongGong and Susie. My Chinese grandfather, my GongGong, and I were very close. He used to love to tell stories. He told stories up until the week before he died. He died when he was 98 years old. 98 years old. He lived a good long life. One of the stories he used to tell was about how he came to this country in the 1920s by himself as a young teenager, and he was working on farms in California, cutting asparagus, picking fruit, making money. Every time he had a little bit of money saved, he would send it home to his family in China because they were so poor. They were so poor that their house only had a dirt floor. That's how poor they were. So anytime he had any money saved, he sent it home. And then in 1929, boom, the stock market crashed. This country was launched into a time in history called the Depression, the Great Depression. Rich people became poor overnight. My grandfather became homeless. He had no work, nowhere to live, no money saved. What could he eat? What could he do? Well, he used to tell a story about that, and I combined that story with another story he used to tell about his dog Susie and her encounter with a certain kind of animal. It's in this poem, GongGong and Susie. It goes like this. Susie sure is good watchdog. Got to be. I treat her right. Last night, almost killed a skunk. Did I tell you? Many times I did eat skunk soup. Take out them stinky thing, cook with garlic, onion, skunk, snake, night owl. I ate them all. It was depression time. No work, nothing to do. We hunt, we fish, we camp. Hey, Susie, want to eat some chow mein? And you know, this is a funny world we live in. And my grandfather, who in hard times ate skunks and snakes and owls, not because he liked them, but because he wanted to survive. He wanted to live. Well, later on when he became a rich man, he used to cook chow mein noodles with New York cut steak, $13.99 a pound. He always told you how much it cost. He would put a third of the pan on his plate, a third of the pan on my plate, and a third of the pan on a plate on the floor for Susie, his dog. Susie was a very well-fed dog. Well, you know why that's the favorite poem of mine, the favorite poem I've written? It's because when I read that poem aloud, all of a sudden, for 1 minute, my grandfather is alive again. He's alive again. If you know an old person who loves to tell stories, ask them for a story. Next time you see them, ask, what was the weirdest thing you ever ate? Or ask, what did you used to do in the summer for fun? Ask, what was your first job? And when they tell you a story, turn your ears into tape recorders and get that story down just the way it's spoken. Chances are that'll be one of the best stories or poems you'll ever write. I'm Janet Wong. I just read GongGong and Susie from A Suitcase of Seaweed. Please look for more of my books. Thank you.